Bob Kravitz is calling in from Rio, where he just went deep sea diving, I do believe, without a scuba suit on, and is living to tell the story. Bob Kravitz of WTHR in Indianapolis calling into the show. You okay, Bob? Everything good down there?
Well, the hang gliding, from the Christ the Redeemer Church is a little frightening, but I'm okay, man.
What is it like down there? Because it is being demonized in a way from what we're seeing.
It is. Look, I'm almost afraid to say that it's been great, because then something horrible is going to happen. There'll be a Zika outbreak and God knows what else. But so far, so good. I mean, hell, as a journalist, all you care about is decent accommodations and the bus is running on time. And so far, so good. But, it gets serious tomorrow with the opening ceremonies, and let's see how. Usually with the Olympics, the first week is a little sketchy. They're still working out things logistically, but so far, nothing horrible has happened. So, knock on wood.
Right. How many Olympics is this for you, Bob?
This would be number 13, lucky number 13.
Wow, 13.
Yeah, I'm old, man. I'm really old.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah.
But, how have things changed at all?
The two biggest changes are, my daughter asked me this the other day. This is, rare because she hardly ever talks to me. But I told her, I said, number one, security. After 9/11, security in Salt Lake City, it was like an invading army had come, to take over Salt Lake City. The other thing is the internet. Back in the old days, we had to take all our clips, in paper and put them in, like a loose leaf binder, and you had this huge binder of clips, and now you just Google people and you become an instant expert on the Ethiopian marathoner who just won.
Yeah, but it just seems to me, though, that if the Olympics can't be held with clean living quarters for the athletes and clean athletes in general and clean water for the athletes to participate in, then what are we doing here, right?
I agree. Look, a lot of promises were made that haven't been kept. Wanabara Bay and the area of the ocean where they're going to be doing, the triathletes and folks like that, it's disgusting. I'll be curious to talk to some of the rowers. We have a Central Indiana rower who I'm going to talk to next week. Her job is to kind of yell, yell stroke, and the water's going to be splashing up, and that water is disgusting and it's very dangerous. A lot of promises were made to Brazil that was in the throes of an economic boom 7 years ago, and since then things have kind of fallen apart economically and politically.
NFL reporter and longtime Indianapolis chronicler of Indianapolis sports, now Channel 13 Indianapolis, WTHR's Bob Kravitz joining me here on the show. Okay, so Tony Dungy gets a bust this weekend, goes into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What was it like when he first arrived in Indianapolis?
The savior had come. He just changed I know it sounds cliche and all that, but he really changed the culture. They became a kinder, gentler team that really got out in the community. It took them a while. Look, they got crushed by the Jets. You remember 41-0. And there was a lot of heartbreak, and there's still some people, myself included, Jim Irsay would say they should have won more than one Super Bowl with that group they had there. But, and honestly, and I'm going to get a lot of crap from people in Indy for saying this, but I've said it before, I'm a little bit ambivalent about Tony getting in. I think there is a good case for him getting in. I think there's a pretty darn good case for him not getting in. I think Marvin's a no-brainer. But, I don't know that you can't write the history of the National Football League, without Tony Dungy. I think, great record, but did he stick around long enough and accomplish enough? I don't know the answer to that. I'm not in that room.
Well, he is a man who did win a Super Bowl, and he did win a Super Bowl. He was the first African-American head coach to do that. If that is something that is to, that you can tell the story of the NFL by mentioning that, right? That is an important part.
Yeah, it seems to me that's the primary thing in his favor. But Tom Flores won how many Super Bowls? Two. So and I don't believe he's in the Hall of Fame. So
No, he is not.
And and he too is a minority. So I not to get Trumpian on you here, but I don't know if I don't know. I'm really going back and forth, and my affinity for Tony is such that I have a hard time being a contrarian on this. So I'm just sort of ambivalent. I'm thrilled for him, thrilled for his family, thrilled for the Colts, but I don't know if I was in that room. I don't know that I would have voted for him.
Bob Kravitz joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who is Marvin Harrison, Bob?
Who is Marvin Harrison?
Yeah.
We asked that. I did a column one day where I asked about 10 guys, name 3 things you know about Marvin Harrison. And all I got was he's from Philadelphia, he likes to go home, and he loves tasty cakes. That's it. Nobody knew this Marvin Harrison character, and we still don't. He's a very different kind of guy. Whether he's a good guy or a bad guy, I can't tell you. I was around him for I don't know how many years, a decade or more, and on the rare occasions he deigned to speak to the media, he didn't say very much. Look, Jim Irsay is going to get up there. He's going to filibuster for an hour and a half introducing Marvin, and Marvin's going to say, "Hey, everybody, thanks so much. Good night."
So you think he's less
tip
than
your
5
waiters
minutes?
and waitresses.
You really
What's
don't think
that?
you don't think he, because my producer compadre over here, Chris Brockman, says he's going to speak less than 5 minutes, and I even though he may be a reticent guy, 5 minutes is a ridiculously short amount of time. You think he's under 5 if given a choice?
Over under? Taking the under, baby. Taking the under.
Yeah, Bob.
Taking the under.
Way to go, Bob.
Yeah, I'm here for you.
Gosh. All right, thanks, Bob. I appreciate you calling in from Rio. And I said, you said you take a lot of crap for your thoughts. You're in Rio, so there's a lot of crap around you. From what
Yes, there is. I'll steer clear of the water, I promise.
Okay, you got it, Bob. Thanks for calling in.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.